On CBS 2 News, preventing youth suicide, how one local educator is working to bring hope and help to Idaho's youth who are struggling. The local schools can't find enough substitute teachers, the challenges and how one school district is responding. Plus, lifting a pause on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, what experts have to say about blood clot concerns.
You're watching CBS 2 News.
A soggy Saturday and even some severe thunderstorms, hail rolling through this evening. Now it looks like it's quieting down, but let's bring in CBS 2's Emery Moore to talk about how long these April showers are set to stick around. Emery.
Sarah, so they are going to be sticking around at least tomorrow and Monday. Before I get into this, though, I was actually at home on my break eating dinner, and all of a sudden hail started coming down, rain, wind, everything. So I wanted to take a video of it, but when I opened my slider, bad idea, because all that rain and hail came rushing into my apartment. So I quickly had to close my door, and I didn't end up getting a video, but maybe another time, because that rain is going to stick around. But take a look at this. We have a wind advisory lasting until 6 o'clock Monday evening. So you can expect to feel 20 to 30 mile per hour winds and gusts up to 45 mile per hour winds. So let's take a little closer look to that. So 33 mile per hour winds in Boise, Mountain Home, 26. Sun Valley a little bit lighter at 17. Our friends in Twin Falls higher at 37, and our friends in Pocatello 58 mile per hour winds there. So if you have patio furniture outside, I advise you to bring it in, because we do not want that furniture in your neighbor's yard, or better yet, on the street. So our precipitation chances for the next 48 hours, like I said, it's going to last throughout Sunday and Monday, but tomorrow evening around 7 o'clock it's going to chill out, slow down just a little bit. So expect 3 to 4 hours, be partly cloudy and no rain, but it's going to pick back up Monday morning throughout Monday. So our 3-day forecast for the next few days. So Monday, like I said, rainy and below average temperatures at 54. Monday, partly cloudy and sticking around 59 degrees. And Tuesday, that's when things should calm down and clear skies on Tuesday at 65 degrees. And we'll get into more weather here shortly. Back to you, Sarah.
One of the things that always breaks my heart is that anybody feels bad for so long and, ends up feeling like there's nobody out there that cares or that they don't fit in.
Judy Gabbert, a former school counselor, was heartbroken from seeing sad and hopeless kids. She decided to start Idaho Lives Project, a program to help prevent youth suicide. Now, the Idaho Lives Project, it's a partnership between the Idaho Department of Education and the Department of Health and Welfare. Its goal is to foster connectedness and resilience throughout the Idaho school communities in order to prevent youth suicide. CBS 2's Erica Lee has more on the program and what to look out for if your child needs help.
There are many ways to figure out if your child is struggling. However, warning signs are different from risk factors. Here are some things to look out for and what you can do to help. According to Judy Gabbert, somebody can have all the risk factors but not ever have thoughts of suicide. Risk factors can include not having support from family or not having access to mental health resources. The difference between the two is that warning signs mean that the person has already gotten to the place of thinking about suicide.
Some of the major ones are maybe dropping out of activities, no longer talking to friends, not caring about what they usually like to do, not doing well in school or at work.
Gabbert says parents can play a huge role in improving the mental health of their children. That includes teaching young kids about their strengths and about their resiliency.
So that we really build in, hey, first of all, you really belong. And you are really capable. And those are the two things, belongingness and capability, that are antidotes to suicidality.
One way to do that is to write 3 things you are grateful for every day. Another is taking a walk or any form of exercise.
When you have a brain that needs some attention so it doesn't get suicidal, walking releases all kinds of great chemicals in our brain. Doing some really fun activities together increases that belongingness.
And finally, it is important to note that it is nobody's fault.
If you have a child who is suicidal or seriously depressed, you tend to blame yourself. Well, it's brain chemistry mostly. Great families have suicidal children. So it's really nobody's fault. It's the brain playing a trick on the young person. And we need to support them.
The Idaho Lives Project provides qualified clinical case managers for each of Idaho's public health regions. Regional case managers act as advocates for students who have made a suicide attempt or have been out of school due to serious suicide ideation. They also provide assessments and facilitate monthly peer-to-peer survivor support groups for young adults all across Idaho. Reporting live in studio, Erica Lee, CBS 2 News.
And you can contact a regional case manager by calling the ILP BPA Health Referral Line at 208-947-5155 Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you or someone you know is suffering from depression or is experiencing thoughts of suicide, don't be afraid to reach out for help. You can call the Suicide Idaho Prevention Hotline at 208-398-4357. Someone is available 24/7 to answer your call. Well, U.S. health officials are lifting a pause on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The FDA and CDC agree the benefits, they outweigh the risks. An independent panel of experts reviewed the data that led to an 11-day pause. 15 women got rare blood clots after their shots. 3 of those women died. 8 million people across the U.S. have been given their shot so far safely. And here in Idaho, close to 42% of 16 and up have gotten at least one coronavirus vaccine. Now more than 31% of people 16 and older are now fully vaccinated. That's over 444,000 people. To date, Idaho, there have been about 176 vaccine breakthrough cases of coronavirus. And St. Alphonsus is using a mobile vaccine trailer to reach out to rural communities. The trailer is from FEMA and it will be used in places like Homedale and Weiser. It's a walk-up clinic, meaning you don't need to make an appointment. Well, this week at the Idaho State Capitol, the House overwhelmingly passed the so-called critical race theory, an education bill in a nutshell. Critical race theory teaches American institutions are systematically racist. It has been linked to what's been termed white shaming. CBS 2's Scott Logan has the debate on the House floor.
The clearest thing to come out of the House debate on the critical race theory bill is the definition of critical race theory is murky at best, and opponents say House Bill 377 offers no insight.
Nothing is defined, not even the term critical race theory. For sure, there are people who will use this bill to intimidate teachers, school administrators, school boards, to make sure that they don't do anything that might in any way be considered controversial.
But supporters of the bill say it promotes dignity and non-discrimination in the face of an effort by the Biden administration to take over Idaho curriculum. It's a coming onslaught, supporters say, that would compel teachers to teach and students to accept theories on race they might not agree with.
So it's here. So when people say that they haven't heard about it, well, it's been creeping in for a little while, and we should have been addressing this, as the good gentleman, the good chairman of education just said, maybe a little bit sooner than later.
In the last few days, an executive order was issued that is trying to put into the federal funding formulas these types of concepts that maybe in Idaho we need to push back on.
Representative John McCrosty, an educator himself, says teachers he knows are too busy teaching in the pandemic to indoctrinate anyone.
Because they have been trying and working their tails off to take what they know how to teach and convert it into a hybrid, a virtual, even in-person learning due to COVID.
The bill passed along party lines, and one lawmaker expressed hope that HB 377 is the going home bill. But for other lawmakers, home still seems far away. Scott Logan, CBS 2 News.
Well, as more Americans get vaccinated and restrictions are lifting, some businesses are finally feeling a little bit of relief after struggling over this past year. But as things go back to normal, one major problem they're now facing, finding enough employees to work for them. Chief Political Correspondent Scott Thuman explores what may be behind this.
From coast to coast, businesses in the United States are struggling to get people to come back to work.
Our biggest challenge has been being able to find labor.
As people start to fill restaurants and travel again, businesses need staff, and in some cases they can't keep up. They're now hoping to entice prospective employees with extra incentive, like the Silver Diner, a restaurant chain in the Mid-Atlantic, offering a $200 signing bonus and up to $16 an hour to start. Some say more drastic measures may need to take place to encourage people to go back to work.
One of the things that I've called on is to let people keep the benefits of unemployment to August if they go back to work now and they stay until the end of the year.
Despite the upward trend in employment opportunities today, the National Restaurant Association says those establishments are still 1.8 million jobs, or 15% below pre-pandemic levels. Some lawmakers on Capitol Hill blame increased unemployment benefits and the child tax credit.
We need to be talking about incentivizing people to go back to work. So I want to hear from President Biden how we're going to reverse some of the policies that do the exact opposite of that are in place right now.
Others say that while it's necessary to recognize the challenge employers are facing, it's important to remember why these policies are in place, especially during a pandemic.
For those individuals who are taking the unemployment benefits right now, that is the best choice for their families. But it is also short term. They were only extended in order to bridge them through these difficult economic times.
That monthly child tax credit mentioned is set to begin this July, while the extended unemployment benefits will last through Labor Day. On Capitol Hill, I'm Scott Thuman.
Now, if this trend continues, economists say this scenario could easily develop into one of the worst labor shortages of the last 50 years.
The challenge has been finding enough people because our district is growing as fast as it is.
Well, speaking of workers, local schools can't find enough substitute teachers. On any given day in the CUNA School District, they have about 3 to 10 classrooms that go without a sub. One of the biggest challenges, the current pay. It's just $70 a day. That's about $8.75 an hour. You can make more at Walmart.
We haven't been able to change that. We do review it, we go over it every year, but the cost of it is just, and this year has been more of a challenge.
Graney says the district is trying to come up with incentives to get more people to substitute teach. Some current incentives offered are traditional training, giving subs more tools to teach, as well as a stipend for those who serve a 10-day pay period. The only requirement to become a sub is actually just completing online training and a background check. If you're interested in subbing with the CUNA School District, we've got a link on our website, idahonews.com. Meanwhile, school meal programs will resume for students this fall. The Federal Ag Department is renewing its free school lunch program. It provides flexible service to promote social distancing, and schools can also continue providing breakfast and after-school snacks in non-group settings. The USDA says this ensures children are getting nutritious options like fruit and vegetables, whole grains, and of course, milk. Well, get excited because TREEFORT tickets, they're now on sale. The festival, it's happening in September after being postponed for about a year and a half. To see the current lineup, you can go to idahonews.com, but more bands will be announced in mid-June. Tickets are $250. Refunds will be offered until August 1st. The festival, it runs September 22nd through the 26th. Well, still to come on CBS 2 News, long-haul trucking. It's essential to our economy, but new numbers show a decline in workers as the need continues to steeply rise.
It's really important to me to be able to teach students about where their food comes from.
Bringing the classroom outside. The initiative one local teacher is taking for her students to learn about agriculture.
CBS 2 News.
Does it seem like you're paying more for your groceries? Well, expect prices to keep rising because there just aren't enough truckers on our roads. Michael Locklear from our Sinclair sister station in Salt Lake City shows us the problem that could also be an opportunity.
people need to eat. I haul food, so I've had work.
Business is booming for Wayne Reeves, the best year in his 4 decades on the road.
I will say that in the last month and a half to 2 months, freight rates have gone up, so that might be indicative of a shortage. That means you're going to pay more for that hamburger or whatever at the store.
The trucker shortage has been a problem for a decade. Today it's even worse, with some truckers moving on during the pandemic.
When all these businesses closed in 2020, they essentially fired, in a weird way, in a backwards way, these truckers.
Jim Grundy owns a trucking company. He says there's plenty of work for people who want it.
People look at it, they look down upon it as blue collar. Yet we have truckers in our company making more than hedge fund managers.
It's been hard, but it's been good for me.
The rising cost of gas is eating into truckers' profits and pushing up prices on the stuff they haul.
How bad is that squeezing you?
It's tight.
The cost of everything has gone up.
A sign of what's to come for the rest of us.
You're going to see the cost of goods and everything from groceries to oil to fuel to cars to homes. Everything's going to keep going up.
Well, the American Trucking Association reports that the trucking industry was short roughly 60,000 drivers in 2018, which is about nearly 20% from the previous year. Now, if current trends hold, the shortage could swell to over 160,000 drivers needed by 2028. Well, let's talk a little bit about the forecast, because we had a little bit of a thunderstorm pushing through. I even saw some hail and even a rainbow. But CBS 2's Emery Moore is here to talk about what you can expect. So Emery, should we keep our umbrella handy this weekend?
Sarah, I think you should, and even a rain jacket, because this rain is expected to stay at least tomorrow and throughout Sunday. So before we jump over to our other forecast, let's look into our precipitation that we received this year. So far we only have gotten 6.5 inches of rain. Now usually we're at 11.5 inches of rain, and last year, to put that in perspective, we received 13.29 inches at this time. So I know a lot of us may not like the rain, but we need it because we're definitely below average right now. So for what to expect the days ahead, so Sunday and Monday, rainy days, like I said, scattered thunderstorms, below average temps, and gusty winds. So actually, let's take a look at that max wind gust that we're going to feel. Baker City, 24 mile-per-hour winds, Ontario, 29, Boise, 33, Mountain Home, a little bit lower at 26, Twin Falls, 37, but our friends east in Pocatello, almost up to 60 mile-per-hour winds there. So I said it before, if you have patio furniture outside, bring it all in, because those are quite strong winds that you may be receiving. So I always love looking at this kind of a comparison. So of course our high was 60 degrees and our low was at 40. Normally we're a little bit higher at 65 and our low is actually at 41. But take a look at this. In 1910 on this day it was 91 degrees, and in 1950 our low for today was 22 degrees. So I know I don't like the rain, but I'd rather take the rain over 22 degrees in April. That temperature is meant for December and January time, definitely not for the spring. So our satellite radar, you can see that rain coming through the Treasure Valley and lasting up until Sunday and Monday. But things are going to clear out around Tuesday, but I'll get into that in just a second. So our temperatures right now, Baker City 42, Ontario 56, Caldwell 53, Boise 51, Nampa 53, and as we head south to Twin Falls, a little bit colder at 40, and let's actually jump up north now to McCall at 37 degrees and Stanley at 36. So precipitation chances for the next 7 days, yes, tomorrow. Expect rain, because it's 78% chance that we will get rain tomorrow, and a little bit lower, but 34 on Monday. So I said partly cloudy, but expect rain here and there throughout the day. And as we head through our work week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, probably it's going to be a little bit of clouds, but mostly sunny. And on the weekend, I think it's going to be looking good as well. So let's actually take a look right now, our extended forecast. So tomorrow and Monday, scattered rain showers. So tomorrow 60, Monday 55. Tuesday, partly cloudy at 59. Wednesday, things should start clearing up altogether. It's going to jump into the 60s at 65, and Thursday even higher at 70. Friday and Saturday, 77 and 78. So our extended forecast for the mountains. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, expect rain and snow showers. Wednesday, again, clearing up and sunny at 50. Thursday, partly cloudy, 54. Friday in the 60s, and Saturday in the 60s as well at 62. So as always, you can head to idahonews.com for our full weather forecast. Will be on there, so check that out. Back to you, Sarah.
Coming up this week on Full Measure, when it comes to America's water wars, the West is as wild as it ever was, and the mighty Colorado River is one of the spoils. The scarcity of water and what the water wars look like out west. When you buy a car, you might think new technology prevents crooks from rolling back the mileage, but we found otherwise. And a creative solution that could provide life-saving drugs to those who can't afford them. How one pharmacist in Tennessee is changing the game in terms of affordable drug pricing. All that coming up this week on Full Measure.
Well, still to come on CBS 2 News, teaching the importance of agriculture in Idaho schools. The impressive program one educator built from the ground up.
Is sponsored by CapEd Credit Union.
Agriculture. It's the backbone of Idaho's economy, and one local teacher saw a need at her school and is leading to new opportunities. In this week's Leaders in Learning, we take you to Mountain Home Agriculture Program.
It's always been missing. Our students, we actually are in a very big agriculture community, but we did not have that outlet in the high school. Adding this program has allowed students to take classes and learn hands-on about agriculture and build projects such as like building this whole greenhouse.
Here at Mountain Home High School, former student, now ag teacher, Kaya Vines Bidiganetta has built their agriculture program from the ground up. Literally, this greenhouse was the latest project. It was started in 2018 and finished in 2019, with the first official class in the spring of 2020.
I taught 1 year welding here, and then we were able to transfer it over to add all agriculture. So not only do I teach welding, but I also teach leadership, animal science, and plant science with this greenhouse.
Her senior welding classes helped build this greenhouse, and along with grants and donations from her community, it's now a place of hands-on learning for all.
Whether they came from a ranch or a farm, or if they came from living in a house in town or apartment in town, to get the opportunity to have hands-on learning in my classes. Not everybody can learn 100% of the time by reading from a book or being taught in a desk. And these classes provide those opportunities for us to learn in the classroom and then walk outside into the laboratory, whether it's the welding shop or the greenhouse, and actually get to do it.
Today's class is mostly seniors, but the program begins freshman year, allowing students to cultivate their knowledge over time. Viviana Rodriguez is one of those four-year students.
I walked in and I was like, dang, like, is this what we're doing in the greenhouse? Because I want to be here for sure. And it takes a lot of hard work and dedication to know what you're actually doing with these plants. And I love being in the greenhouse. I look forward to it every day.
It's really important to me to be able to teach students about where their food comes from. You and I as consumers, this is very important to us to know where our food comes from. Is it safely grown? Is it safely handled? Is it safe to eat when it gets to our plate? And my classes provide that general knowledge for students to understand what they're eating, where it came from, how it was produced, and why it is safe to eat.
The class began in January. Starting from just seeds, students participated in every aspect, from the germination process, planting, and then transplanting to larger pots.
We also were able to plant hanging baskets of petunias. So we have, I think, about 300 hanging pots. We're going to sell everything that's in here, all of our vegetables, all of our flowers. We do have succulents also. They will be sold at our plant sale.
The Mountain Home High School plant sale is May 6th and 7th from 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at this very greenhouse. And all of these proceeds from selling these plants will go directly back into the agriculture program for next semester. For more information on the plant sale or a look at who helped make this project possible, head to idahonews.com.
This is only the beginning.
We are so thankful for all of our teachers helping their students online and in school, and we want to recognize them. So if you know of a classroom leader doing something great, email us, leadersinlearning@kboi2.com. Still to come on CBS 2 News, are you looking for something fun to do for the whole family? Brian Levin has your Best of Idaho next.
Free activities for its annual Unplug and Be Outside celebration. Kids can sign up for things like lacrosse, soccer, tennis, flag football, and more. There are plenty of activities for adults too. They get started next month. Head to the city's website to learn more. Mother's Day is coming up. It's May 9th for those taking part in it. Maybe add this to your calendar. The Middleton FFA is having a Mother's Day greenhouse sale. You can find things like hanging baskets. It's coming up Thursday, May 6th from 4 to 7. They ask that you please wear a mask. And just announced, Brush Up NAMPA is going to happen on July 17th. This is a free event where teams paint homes for elderly and disabled residents. Paint and supplies are provided. They need both people who want their homes painted and those who want to help out. You can sign up on the city's website. Well, we'd love to know what else is going on in your community. The good, the funny, the inspiring, anything. Just send me an email. It's news@kboi2.com. Brian Levin, CBS 2 News.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow for CBS 2 News at 5:30. Between now and then, have a great night.
Take the news with you on the radio. 670 KBOI.